Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're peeling back the layers on something pretty fascinating, often quite painful too. Scapegoating, blame, and accountability. We're talking about how blame gets, unfairly pinned on individuals or groups, especially when things go wrong during crises.
Right, and it diverts attention from the real issues.
Exactly.
So our mission for you today is really to distill the key insights from the material you've shared, help you understand these dynamics of, misdirected blame.
And crucially, how we might foster genuine accountability instead.
Yeah, essentially give you a shortcut to being really well informed on this.
Okay, so let's maybe trace this back a bit. The word itself, scapegoat, it has quite specific origins, doesn't it?
It really does. Goes right back to ancient biblical rituals. Leviticus specifically. There was this practice with two goats.
Right, and one of them, the goat for Azazel.
That's the one. It was symbolically loaded with the community's sins and then driven out into the wilderness, literally carrying the blame away.
Wow, so a physical embodiment of offloading guilt.
Precisely. But, this wasn't just symbolic everywhere. In ancient Greece, things took a darker turn.
How so?
During disasters, like plagues, they used human pharmakoi.
Human scapegoats.
Exactly. That often vulnerable people, criminals, slaves, foreigners. And sometimes, quite bizarrely, they were even, treated well for a time, fed, adorned.
Like they were being honored.
Almost. Making the eventual expulsion or even killing seem like a necessary sacrifice. It moved beyond cleansing.
Into social control.
Yes, cynical manipulation, sacrificing the few, the vulnerable, to maintain order and distract everyone else.
Which brings us to the big question, why? Why do we as individuals and societies do this?
Well, psychologically, there's a lot going on. Often it's about defense mechanisms, things our minds do to protect us, sort of.
Like what?
Well, there's the frustration-aggression hypothesis. You get frustrated by something you can't control, maybe your job, and you displace that anger onto an easier, safer target, like snapping at your family instead of your boss. Yeah.
Okay, I can see that. The path of least resistance for anger.
Right, and then there's projection, seeing your own unwanted feelings or flaws in someone else, attributing it to them instead of yourself.
And the fundamental attribution error.
Ah, yes. That's when we tend to blame someone's personality or character. They're lazy, rather than thinking about their situation. Then maybe they're facing huge obstacles.
Yeah.
It's a mental shortcut.
And the source material highlights something interesting here. Individuals with narcissistic traits, they seem to lean on this heavily.
That's a really key observation from the research, yeah. For someone with those traits, scapegoating is often a primary defense. It protects a very fragile self-image when their own mistakes or flaws are challenged.
So it's deeply personal for them.
Very. But then zoom out to the group level, sociologically. Scapegoating does something else. It can actually strengthen an in-group.
How? By uniting against an out-group.
Exactly. It creates solidarity against a perceived common enemy. It acts like a safety valve for collective tension. Let off steam by blaming them.
So it maintains social order in a way.
It can, yeah. Especially by diverting attention from really complex, maybe systemic problems. It's a powerful tool, especially for leaders maybe, to dodge accountability, keep things as they are.
And the targets, it keeps coming back to the same kinds of people, doesn't it?
Consistently. The marginalized, the vulnerable, those seen as outsiders. Think of historical examples like Jewish communities blamed for the Black Death.
Or more recently, maybe immigrants blamed for economic issues.
Precisely. Or even within a family, one child might become the family scapegoat, carrying the blame for family dysfunction. The common thread is powerlessness. They lack the power to effectively fight back.
The cost must be enormous, not just for the person scapegoated.
Oh, absolutely. The psychological trauma can be incredibly deep. It can echo across generations, creating cycles of mistreatment. The suffering is immense.
But it's not just the scapegoat who suffers, is it? What about the system itself?
That's the other critical part. When we focus just on person blame, finding someone to punish, instead of system blame, looking at the underlying structures.
The real problems don't get fixed.
Exactly. The people or systems actually responsible evade accountability. They might even gain power or satisfaction from it. And the systemic issues, inequality, prejudice, flawed policies, they just fester. Problems keep recurring because the root causes are ignored. It's a huge burden on society.
Okay, so it's damaging all around. How do we break free? How do we move towards something better?
It requires a pretty fundamental shift. Moving away from what you might call a blame culture.
Towards an accountability culture.
Yes, and that really starts with leadership. Leaders acknowledging responsibility for failures, especially systemic ones, fostering transparency, openness, no more hiding.
I like the framework mentioned. See it, own it, solve it, do it.
Acknowledge the reality, take ownership, figure out solutions, and then critically act, implement them.
Which needs open communication, trust, clear expectations.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
At every level.
Yeah.
But individual and organizational changes aren't always enough. We also need systemic solutions.
Like policy changes.
Yeah. Policy reform, tackling things like injustice in the legal system or economic inequality. Practices like restorative justice, which focuses on repairing harm, not just punishment.
And maybe things like truth and reconciliation commissions for dealing with historical wrongs.
Those can be vital for societal healing, yes.
Yeah.
But underpinning all of this really is education and critical thinking.
Empowering people, empowering you, the listener, to see through misinformation, to challenge assumptions.
Exactly. To resist those manipulative narratives that push blame onto easy targets.
This has been quite the deep dive. It shows scapegoating isn't just, an occasional mistake. It's deeply ingrained, often strategic, with massive consequences.
But importantly, it's a cycle we can actually break.
It seems the core message is moving past that surface-level blame game, really digging for root causes and demanding genuine accountability. So thinking about our conversation, what's maybe one key takeaway you'd want someone listening to hold on to?
Perhaps just recognizing the sheer power and impact of where we direct blame. It's not a neutral act. Questioning it, understanding the cost that feels like the essential first step towards a more just and accountable future. Demand accountability.
Yeah.
Look for the root causes. Think about the impact.
The support is come direct from Kingdom Compassion at Just Close Your Eyes 25.